Let me tell you, the last thing I expected that Friday afternoon was to have the HOA president shaking like a leaf on my lawn while a real-life FBI agent backed me up in front of half the neighborhood. But honestly, after the week I'd had, maybe I should have seen it coming. You ever wake up and just know you're about to witness a train wreck you didn't cause, but you're absolutely going to enjoy? That was me, standing behind my window blinds, sipping lukewarm coffee, watching Belinda Cross and her merry band of clipboard commandos form a semicircle in my front yard like they were about to exorcise a demon from my grass. I'm Marcus Hale, owner of the world's beigest two-story house at the dead end of Sycamore Glen, where luxury living just means overpriced mulch and group emails with subject lines like urgent, trash bin placement. So picture this: 6 HOA board members, all standing there for 2 straight hours, clipboards clutched like shields, rehearsing whatever doomsday speech they thought would terrify me into line. And right in the middle, there's Belinda, president of the HOA, helmet hair lacquered to the point of invincibility, lips pursed like she'd just tasted sour milk. That's when my buddy Torres, FBI badge and all, rolls up in an unmarked black SUV and kills the vibe so hard you could feel the temperature drop 10 degrees. Is that? Belinda whispers, her eyes bouncing between Torres' badge and the government plates like she's just seen a ghost. Torres doesn't miss a beat, steps right up beside me, calm as can be, and goes, "I'm with the FBI, ma'am. Mind explaining why you've been loitering on this man's property for 2 hours without permission?" You should have seen their faces. It was like someone yanked the batteries out of the whole HOA. One guy squeaked, another started tearing up, Belinda's hand started shaking so hard her clipboard rattled. That's when I realized, oh, this is about to be fun. I work from home, software engineer, spend my days talking to computers and my nights trying to avoid talking to people, except for 3, the Amazon driver, the pizza guy, and my friend Daniel Torres, who just happens to be an FBI agent and my Friday night bad movie buddy. For the first year, Sycamore Glen was tolerable, mostly quiet, the kind of place you move for peace of mind and end up paying for it in monthly dues. But then, the HOA got a new president. Enter Belinda Cross, a woman who treats HOA bylaws like scripture and seems to think God herself appointed her to guard the neighborhood against the existential threat of, get this, mismatched patio furniture. I'm not exaggerating. Within a month of her reign, Belinda dropped a 27-page PDF on us called Standards of Visual Harmony. She installed more cameras on her porch than the Pentagon, but they all pointed at everyone else's house. Then she announced informal lawn inspections as needed. My first violation arrived on a Tuesday: non-compliant lawn decor. Suspicious gnome. I thought it was a joke. Seriously, a garden gnome? I even named him Chill Bill. Next thing I know, Belinda's on my porch in sunglasses so big they'd block out the sun, lecturing me like I'm on trial. This gnome does not match the approved color palette for Sycamore Glen. It's whimsical. I just stared at her. It's a gnome, Belinda. He's holding a shovel, not plotting a coup. She pursed her lips. He's holding chaos. That's when it started, the slow, petty escalation. Next week, trash cans visible from street for 14 minutes after pickup. I'm not kidding. The notice came with a timestamp photo. Belinda had literally staked out my house with a stopwatch. After that, excessive curtain patterning visible from exterior, garage door opened for unapproved duration, wind chimes audible beyond property line. My personal favorite? Unregistered vehicle. It was my cousin's sedan, parked in my driveway for a single afternoon. At this point, Belinda was watching my house like she was waiting for me to dig a tunnel to Cuba. It got weirder. One night around 11:30, my security camera caught her sneaking into my yard with her phone flashlight, snapping pictures of my Halloween decorations. The next day, infraction, skeleton not seasonally appropriate on October 12th. I laughed. I really did, but it wasn't funny anymore when she started trespassing. One morning, I woke up to find a neon orange notice of non-compliance taped to my inside front window. I sure as heck didn't put it there. Guess who did? The straw that broke my patience? My new router arrived, just a brown Amazon box, nothing special. I was in a meeting when my security app pinged. There's Belinda, marching up the porch with 2 board members. She squints at the label, frowns, and, I kid you not, just grabs my package. I watch her on camera as she turns to the others and says, we need to make sure he's not running some kind of unapproved server. Tucks it under her arm and walks away. That's mail theft, plain and simple. Federal offense. I shot out my door so fast I nearly dislocated my shoulder. Hey, I shouted. Put that down. Belinda spun, clutching the box like it was a holy relic. Marcus, we were coming to talk to you anyway. There are some concerns. One of our minions, Greg, piped up. We have received reports you may be operating a surveillance hub. I pointed at my doorbell cam. You mean the camera you pose for every day? Belinda's eyes narrowed. Several neighbors have expressed discomfort about your activities, your late-night visitors, your vehicles. You mean my friend? I asked. The one who comes over Fridays to watch bad movies? We don't know who he is or why an unfamiliar car is parked here so often. And there it was. The overstep. Next day, certified letter, HOA letterhead, Belinda accusing me of suspicious activity and demanding a full record of all visitors, their vehicles, and the purpose of their visits. She threatened to notify local police and, I swear, the Department of Homeland Security. She CC'd the city, the local police chief, and, this is the part that still cracks me up, the public FBI field office email. You know who monitors that? My buddy, Agent Torres. So Friday comes. I text Torres, fill him in, send him the footage of Belinda taking my package, the late-night trespassing, the suspicious activity, letters she sent everywhere but Santa Claus. There's a long pause on the phone. Marcus, he says, I thought you moved to the suburbs for less crime. Then, more serious, that letter's wild. She's making up security concerns to pressure you and misusing a federal agency name, plus the mail theft. Let's talk. He says he'll swing by around 2. By early afternoon, I hear the click-clack of Belinda's heels out front. I peek through the blinds. There's the full HOA firing squad, clipboards and all, lining up like it's Judgment Day. They don't knock. They just stand there, staring at my door. Minute 10, they look smug. Minute 30, Greg's already sweating. Minute 60, someone mutters they should come back later. Belinda hisses, no, he needs to understand the seriousness of this. Minute 120, the black SUV glides up to the curb and outsteps Torres, badge clipped to his belt, slacks and rolled sleeves like he's on his day off but still means business. Afternoon, Torres calls, easy and pleasant, walking up the path. Marcus, good to see you. I lean in the doorway, try not to look like I'm grinning. Hey Dan, you find the place okay? Belinda's eyes flicker between us. Excuse me, who are you exactly? She snaps. Torres' smile goes flat. He pulls back his jacket just enough to show his credentials. Special Agent Daniel Torres, FBI. And you must be Miss Cross. Greg makes a noise like a squeaky balloon. I swear, if you've never watched a suburban HOA pivot from we own you to we're just humble volunteers, you're missing out on life's finer things. Belinda blanches. We were only trying to ensure neighborhood security. Torres nods, not buying it. He pulls out a printed copy of her letter, the one she sent the FBI. You sent this, correct? From this email. She stammers, yes, but, and you stated, Torres reads, there may be a domestic security threat at 19 Sycamore Lane with high-tech operations and suspicious meetings with unidentified men at odd hours. That's Marcus, he says, and I'm the unidentified man. You could have heard a leaf fall. Belinda tries to pivot. We had to act on neighbor reports, his cameras, visitors, packages. Torres doesn't even blink. His router, Miss Cross. The one you removed from his porch without consent. On camera. He holds up his phone, shows the footage. Belinda's face goes rigid, then crumples. I was verifying, that's mail theft, Torres says, mild but sharp. In this letter, you implied you were working with federal authorities, used intimidation tactics, and harassed a private citizen under the guise of security. Someone behind her mutters, oh my God, and tries to sidestep the blast radius. Torres never raises his voice, just lays out the facts, cool as you please. Here's what's going to happen. I'm filing an incident report documenting this letter and your actions. I'd recommend you forward this to your HOA's attorney, because if Marcus decides to pursue civil action, This is discovery material. Belinda's eyes fill with tears. Civil action? She whispers. And since you involve federal agencies without cause, your pattern of harassment is now documented at that level, too, Torres adds. If there are further complaints, they won't be seen as good faith. Belinda's shaking so hard, she looks like a wind-up doll about to topple. We were just protecting property values, she croaks. Torres gives her a look that says, "You really want to go there?" Miss Cross, you don't get to manufacture fake terrorism concerns because a guy has Wi-Fi and a friend. Then, he turns to me. Marcus, do you feel harassed by this association? Yeah, I say extremely. Then I advise you to speak to a lawyer about a formal cease and desist. And I'll note in my report that any ongoing harassment could be considered targeted abuse, now that you've been warned. That's when Greg finally cracks. I didn't want to do this, he blurts out. She made us. She said if we didn't back her up, she'd find us too. Belinda spins on him. But the dam's already broken. Another board member pipes up. You threatened to lien Marcus's house over a gnome. Torres raises an eyebrow. A gnome? I shrug. Suspicious. The fallout? Satisfying doesn't even cover it. 2 weeks later, the HOA's attorney drops a letter on every doorstep. We do not collaborate with federal law enforcement on routine matters. Apologies for any confusion. Greg calls the next emergency board meeting a mutiny with Costco cookies. Belinda gets voted out as president and resigns entirely for health reasons. Everyone else translates that as, I poked the federal bear and it growled. My attorney drafts a cease and desist citing harassment, trespassing, and unlawful attempts to get my private info. Belinda signs it so fast the ink nearly sizzles. The HOA passes a new rule. No more representing yourself as law enforcement, federal or otherwise. Or, as I call it, no more cosplay as Homeland Security because someone's flamingo feels subversive. As for Belinda, rumor is she tried to run for the board in her new neighborhood. Turns out, background checks don't love documented incident involving misuse of federal complaint channels. Now she's chair of the Welcome Committee, which means her job is handing out muffins and smiling. I hear she hates every minute. So what do you think? Would you have called her out or let her keep running the neighborhood like a suburban dictator? Ever had an HOA war blow up into something like this? Drop your wildest HOA or neighbor story in the comments. And let's debate. Where's the line between community rules and straight-up harassment? Is there ever a good reason to call in the feds over a garden gnome? I want to hear your take. And hey, if you think justice was served, hit that like button and stick around. You never know who's watching from the bushes or from the FBI.